Hello, it's me, Sweetie, and Cicero, and thank you for being here for another video. So with it being just after the first of the new year, 2021, I've been thinking a lot about my past and just how I got here. How am I here right now? And a big part of that has been my journey to becoming a Lolita. I remember I first got into Lolita in 2015, I think, is when I bought my first cord. So going from being a cosplayer for so long, and then now my life centers completely around Lolita, it's just been an interesting journey, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So if you've got nothing else better to do for the next several minutes and you want to spend some time with me today, just keep on watching and I will show you how I became a Lolita. So before we can get to the part where I magically transformed into a Lolita princess, I first have to go back to the past. So back before I was a Lolita, and I think I've mentioned this before, I was a cosplayer. I cosplayed for about 10 years. I taught myself how to sew. I did competitions with my friends. I was at every anime convention I could afford, and some I couldn't. And at that time, I was really focused on trying to make cosplay a career, actually. Now, these days, there are many people who have made cosplay a career, but back in my day, that was not a thing. Cosplay was really just on the cusp of being something that could be thought of as a career, and I was right there on the edge, trying my best to make that jump myself. So at the very beginning of my venture into cosplay, probably one of the first 3 conventions I ever went to, I actually saw my first Lolita. I was in the elevator with a couple friends. We were going downstairs to the dealer room, and there was this absolutely beautiful girl in the back corner of the elevator who had on this, now that I'm remembering it from this perspective, absolutely amazing Lolita cord. She had all these stickers in her hair and all these accessories. She looked like cotton candy, and I was just so taken aback. I didn't even know what to think. I didn't know what I was looking at the time. And even to this day, 10 plus years later, that moment really sticks out in my mind. And so after I saw my very first Lolita in the wild, I started noticing them more at every convention I went to. And while I thought they were beautiful and artistic and I thought it was awesome, I just really felt like it was unattainable for me. I didn't have any connection to it. I didn't know any people that were into it or knew how to even get into it. And so I just enjoyed it from afar and kept on my little cosplay journey. But then, along my cosplay journey, I met my now best friend, May. You all know her well by now. I've done a few videos with her on this channel. I'll link one of my favorites up above if you want to check it out. And through becoming close friends with her, I was exposed more to Lolita. She has been a Lolita for far longer than I have, so getting to see her wear the fashion and talk about it, it slowly became more and more attainable for me. And over the years, as my burnout from cosplay grew and grew, so did my interest in Lolita. I was slowly becoming more interested in the fashion and less interested in staying up nights on end, pricking my fingers with sewing needle just to be a part of the cosplay community. And then, at one of the conventions that I was a regular at, I actually was invited to model in their Lolita fashion show. This was my very first time wearing Lolita for myself, and I think that's really what sealed the deal. After that point of getting to wear one of the dresses myself, be among a bunch of other girls that were also wearing the fashion, something just clicked and I realized that I want to get into this. I need to be into this. And so started my official journey into Lolita. So after the fashion show, I bought my very first Lolita dress. And that is the dress that I'm wearing right now, actually. It's Whipped Cream Kitty from Haenuli, which is an indie Korean brand, which is no longer around, unfortunately. So I feel very lucky to have this dress in my collection and that it was my first dress I ever owned. So I had done it, I had taken the first step, I bought my first dress, and I began on the journey that led me to be right here with you guys. But becoming a Lolita does not happen overnight. There's a lot to learn, there's a closet to build, there's so much going on, and I felt so overwhelmed. Luckily, I had my friend May with me to show me the ropes. We spent a lot of time together. I sent her outfits that I was inspired to buy, lace market listings that I was interested in to get her approval, ask her how to build outfits with the items that I had, and it was a really fun way for us to bond and really became the basis of our relationship. So over time, I worked on building my wardrobe with May. We grew closer and closer, and I am proud to say that my very first Lolita Tea Party event was for May's birthday. So there is a beautiful garden local to Dallas called the Dallas Arboretum. It's where I actually got married. And we went there for May's birthday for a tea party. I was so excited and a little bit nervous to go to my first Lolita outing. I had not spent time with other Lolitas besides May, but it was really fun and it just encouraged me to keep going and keep meeting new Lolitas and even plan my own events. So as the years went by in my Lolita journey, I started collecting more and more Lolita friends, and I even started planning my own local events like Galentine's Day. We would go back to the Arboretum, we would spend holidays together in Lolita, and we really just built our own little niche community here in the DFW area. I ended up modeling again for that anime convention who got me into Lolita in the first place, and I've just done so many really fun things along my journey as a Lolita, and I wouldn't trade the memories for anything. As I did mention, I got married at the Dallas Arboretum, and in fact, it was a Lolita wedding. I wore Lolita myself, my husband wore an aristocratic fashion, and all of my bridesmaids wore Lolita as well. So as you can probably tell, Lolita is a huge part of my life. It's my greatest passion. It's really a lifestyle at this point. And I think it's so interesting how I could go from being so ingrained and obsessed with cosplay to moving on to something completely different in just a matter of a few years. I'm really happy that this is my passion now. I don't have to stay up really late working on costumes. I'm not stressed trying to meet deadlines. And it's just something that fit really well into my life and into my relationships. And I'm so happy to have found it. So we've covered the past, we've covered the current, and now on to the future. So I have decided in my heart that I want to wear Lolita for the rest of my life. I've been seeing a lot recently online about younger girls dropping out of or quitting Lolita because they think they're too old. At like 25, I must be ancient to them. You can wear whatever you want at any age. I'm excited to bring this fashion with me into the future and my older years. And I'm really happy to have made that decision for myself because I want to be able to be an example for younger Lolitas that might feel out of place or too old to wear Lolita, and that's just not true. I'm excited to be getting older and to keep wearing this fashion and to hopefully inspire younger girls to keep following their passions and wear Lolita for as long as they want. Being in this fashion and becoming a Lolita has helped me think up a bunch of dreams that I want to accomplish with my life. It is my ultimate dream to travel the world and meet other Lolitas and experience their communities and get to know what's important to them as Lolitas. I would love to make content like that for this channel and take you guys with me all over the world to meet other Lolita communities. It's also important to me to try to make this fashion way more accessible. One of the things that kept me out of the fashion for so long is I just didn't know where to start. I didn't think that I could meet the standards or expectations. I was really nervous to join the community, and I don't think that reflects what Lolita is about at all. I would love to try to make this fashion more attainable, more accessible for anyone who wants to join by giving information and providing resources for how to get into it so that we can have even more beautiful Lolita princesses join us. Well, I think that's gonna do it for this video, guys. I sure hope you enjoyed spending some time with me today on my channel and learning about how I evolved into the beautiful Lolita princess that sits before you. If you did enjoy this video while you were watching, please consider hitting the subscribe button or the thumbs up button down below. I would really appreciate it. Well, I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my day. I hope you enjoy the rest of yours as well, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!